Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Paula and we're going to do some crafting today with a fabulous little set of products. It's called the Frames and Flowers set and it is part of our quick crafting section where you get to design layouts, cards, memorabilia, packaging, tags, whatever you want to design in a relatively quick and easy manner. So as you can see from the catalogue here, this is on page 28 and 29, we've got some examples of this lovely little kit put together with some lovely packaging and tags ideas, which are rather neat. There is also a simple stamp set and most affordable stamp set in the kit, and it's called Poised Peony, which you could opt to go for. And this one over here is the actual set that I'm talking about, Frames and Flowers. So what does it come with? Let's just have a look at the real life version. So in the kit, you get 3 sheets of 12-inch by 12-inch paper. You can see the lovely dark colors coming through. On the other side, you can see some more florals, different elements of and styles of things. So Frames and Flowers is what this is called, and you can kind of see the idea with that paper. Now we've also got what comes as 3 single sheets of die cuts, and you punch them all out. And in here we've got a strip, we've got some photo mats or some card bases, we've got all of these gorgeous little frames. So these ones are more like, you know, circular floral elements, quite a few circular ones. We've also got some edging, corner edging ones in here. And we've also, oh, look at all these circular ones, heaps of them, little wreaths, and then we've got some cute little frames that have got the punched out pieces inside. So all of them came in the kit. Then we had a few others that were a little bit more decorative elements to do, say, a little stamp on or some journaling on, little title. This was actually just a punch out from one of those other frames, but I thought it's actually quite a nice symmetrical piece too, so I'll keep hold of that. And then, of course, we have got all of these little die-cut flowers. So let's just pop some of these down here so you can see what they look like. Just a scattering of them. We've got little leafy foliage. We've got lots of cute little flowers. We've got little bunches where there's flowers and the leafy foliage in there. And there were a few more over here too. Just really lovely little pre-designed pieces of memorabilia that you can use. So all of this comes together as in one little packet. In New Zealand money, that is $21, and a nice little completed piece, and it does give you some ideas of the colors that go with it on the back. So we have got Early Espresso. I'll pull in what's the equivalent in Close to My Heart inks because I'm still using up my inks. So Early Espresso is a little bit like our espresso ink. We've got Garden Green, Greeny Apple Green, Lost Lagoon. So some of these ones are in here. Garden Green's actually like a really old colour we had, which is taupe or jade would be an equivalent. Granny Apple Green's a little bit like avocado. I have got Old Olive in here, which is a bit like our Old Fern one. Lost Lagoon. This one is actually a really good match if you have this old shade called Twilight. That's a really good match for this set. We have got Pretty Peacock, which I have still got the old peacock shade. Petal Pink, which is this lovely peach, which I use so much. I love that shade. Pumpkin Pie, which is a bit more like our old Nectarine in there. Shaded Spruce, that's another green, a deeper green, which is Evergreen is one that we've had in the past. And then Soft Sea Foam, which is kind of like a combo of either Seabrook or Sage or somewhere in the middle. So you can see there are a ton of different colours in this range that are going to come out beautifully. So heaps of greens, some teals, some peachy orangey shades, and then some browns. So that's kind of giving you a summary of what you're getting in this kit. But we can also add to the kit. So of course this is very floral orientated. The back sides of the pieces of paper that have got florals though do have a more easy pattern, I guess you could say, to use a very more generic pattern. But I would also be looking at bringing in some cardstock into this. So of course you can go for White Daisy, but we have got in our range this really lovely textured paper. I'm not sure if you can pick it up here. It's beautiful sort of wood grainy texture. Still white, but you can obviously put a bit of colour on there if you wish to. So that would make a really nice combo with this range. Then of course there'll be cardstock colours that tie in beautifully. So I've pulled in the peach, the evergreen, and some of that old sort of peacocky shade. Those are going to come in beautifully in there. And I've also gone to another Stampin' Up paper set just to have a little look-see and see how much we could tie in. So this is the Country Lace. So Country Lace has got a whole heap of soft muted tones. Obviously, these ones here, which are your petal pink, which I call peach, there's a whole ton of those. There's a couple of each of them, so those two are in there. And we've also got the petal peach in a different little pattern with little circles in the background. So we've got a couple of those. But we could also pull in, I believe, this really lovely tone here, which I'm just trying to think which one that is called. But it's just got a slight hint of a green to it as well. And I think that's going to work really nicely. And once again, there's a couple of shades of that one in here, which are on the back sides of these papers. And then the last one, which we could always look at, is bringing in a few greys. I'm not a big fan of pulling in greys where the browns are probably a better mix. But you can see, oh, those go there, but you can see there is those more neutral shades we could just have as backgrounds. So the Country Lace paper is going to work beautifully with the set to extend it and have that slightly less decorative element in the backdrop. So with all that said, you can see there's a whole heap we're going to work with this kit. Can't wait to get started. Let's see what I create. So let's see what we're going to do with this. I have pulled in the petal pink background from the Country Lace range. It's got the little circles on it, thinking that that could be a nice backdrop to these lovely photos. They're all actually from Japan when my husband went there for a work trip. Looks like he was having a lot of fun, not so much work, but that is great. So we have got all of these neat, we've got blossoms in here, we've got outdoor gardens and the lovely little, the Japanese style buildings, some dressing up times and having a bit of fun with some of the traditions. It's going to be a really neat layout to put together. Now to begin with, I want to play around with this really fun wood grain paper. So let's see what we can do with that to get started. So let's take this 4-inch strip and give it a little bit of colour. I'm using the Espresso, which is from the Close to My Heart range, but it's a very good match to Early Espresso or Pebbled Path are the two sort of shades that it's a bit similar to in the Stampin' Up world. So you can see as I put a little bit of colour on here, that wood grain is coming out, and that is looking a pretty neat shade. So I'm going reasonably lightly at the moment. I'm okay with a bit more of a mottled appearance, but if I don't want that, you just go off a little bit first and then come on with your circular motions. That's a nice easy way to do it. So I've decided to split that piece of paper into two, and I have got my background ready, and that's when I can bring in some of these other pieces that I've put together. So I've done the wood grain to go across the two sides, and I've also pulled in a strip of this really gorgeous floral paper. It's got a really nice peacocky colour on the back, but we'll go for the front side of it and just pop in, and I'm even thinking we might go down to this level with the florals as well. So we can have this nice backdrop of using a white piece to ground it, and that gives a little bit more of a softness to this effect. And then I have the three papers layered. Before I start adding my photos, I'm just going to go around the edges with my Espresso just to give a bit of definition to all these little pieces before I place them down. So here you go, it's all adhered down now, and we can start to pop on our photos. Now I have actually placed my photos into with a little white photo mat, just thinking about how far down I want. I do want a peep of that coming through. I've kind of placed these all so that I can have them a little bit like a collage. So a little bit of a white border. That can pop in there. How does that look? It's looking pretty nice. You can see the peep of the florals coming through. Plus you can also get, I guess, a hint of that gorgeous wood grain, and it's all just very much leveling it out. I'll just try this side to be a little bit less perfect. Maybe we'll just go like this and like this. So how's that? So I'm actually now getting, what is it, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 photos on this page, which is perfect. I've still got plenty of room for a title up here, plenty of space to either do some journaling down here, or even up in that top corner. So this is working really well. So now remember all those beautiful florally embellishments that I showed you at the start. We had all these different types of florals that we could pull into our piece. This is where it becomes easy. So because this is a pre-cut, die-cut set, we have just got a ton of little pieces that I can now just sort of pop around. I will adhere those properly in a minute, but just to give you the impression of the sorts of things I can do, I can just, let me just grab a few more, pop a few bits around, and I probably will bring in a few different types of leaves, but I'm going for the more softer, rounder leaves because that's the style of paper that I chose to use. So I can pop these pieces in, and that's standing out beautifully. Now it doesn't look too much like blossoms though, which is a bit worrying. So I do have a close to my heart set called Cherry Blossom Wishes, and I've just gone away and stamped a few of these individual pieces onto peach cardstock and done a little bit of blending in the center, and I think just by having a couple more blossomy effects coming through, this is going to look a little bit more appropriate, maybe even covering up those other flowers so it really looks like a blossom coming through. So if I do a piece over there, I tend to want to do a piece somewhere down here. So let's just have a look at what I've got going. Maybe something that can kind of spread across here. Got more of those sorts of florals going on. A couple more of these sorts of ones too, which they're showing up against this wood grain really well, as well as that peach up there. So I'm pleased that I've put this in the order that I have. It allows these florals to work. I'm not sure, I may even just play with that. That's a very big piece there. Let's just see how it works with the extra little florals as well. I may be doing a little bit more tweaking with this side. We could tuck a few of these little ones under. I think what it is that these are very bright, so I'm toning it down with that little bit of a peach blossom. It does help quite a bit. So we've got something happening there. I may tutu with that a little bit more, and then we will also obviously have something happening over in this little corner as well. So we've got beautiful bits and pieces to work with here. Here's a different shaped blossom, which I quite liked. I could tuck that one under this time. Have this going on, and maybe even a little blossom coming a bit further up on that branch. So I will play with the placement of those, but you can kind of see how it's working really nicely, having the 3 series of blossom clusters together. And we just need to pop in a nice title here. It could just be as simple as Japan, but it could be something a little more. So I have to have a little think about that one, and we'll see what comes next. So I've got it all adhered down now. You can see the different clusters coming together beautifully with just a little touch of a blossom going in. So just to finish it, I need to add a title, which I had just enough of the wood grain. I chopped off 1 inch from one of the strips to cut out this simple little title. So I'm just going to stick with Japan. This is a nice slimline alphabet that came from close to my heart, but you can just see it's going to fit in perfectly. So we'll pop that in properly with a bit of adhesive. That's tidying up that little corner there. And I think with all this going on over here that I'll be doing my little journaling strips down here to tell the story. So I'll have to get that from Greg so that I can add it in. Just to finish it off, of course, we do need a little bit of bling. So I'm just going to bring in some little shiny silver sparkly pieces using my little tool just to pick them up. And we can just add a few around some of these gorgeous little clusters here. Put a couple up that end, maybe one down here. That looks really lovely, and we can add a few in over this way too. It's always nice sort of doing a bit of a cluster with maybe 3 or 5 of them. Might just keep that one inside, and then we'll put a couple up here as well. See if we can just get away with 2 even up here. No, we will definitely put in another one up here as well, I think. Maybe somewhere like, let's just try that one again. Yeah, actually, I think it is somewhere around there. We'll put it about there. So that there is a beautiful layout created using nice simplistic products. So a product that's got all your die cuts, you don't have to do additional stamping in here. It is part of the family of products that we call our, oh, let's just get to the front page of it all. Oh my goodness, quick and easy options. And it certainly is quick and easy. It's all created for you, adding a little bit of wood grain and some other nice paper in the backdrop, and what a beautiful layout we have. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this all came together. To find out more, head to my website at craftpaula.stampinup.net and you can explore all these lovely new products.